Hello and welcome to Star Wars, the best place for below average Star Wars. I'm your host Peter, as always, and this week is really special as I am joined by podcast royalty and the nicest dude on the planet, our first American host, Mr. Brian Balance. Brian, how are you?
I'm doing all right. I'll take the first American title. The other two I'm not so sure about. But I'm glad to be here, dude. Congrats on your own show. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Enjoying it so far.
Good.
Just want to keep going. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I love the tagline. The best place for below average Star Wars. That is hilarious. I love it. I feel right at home.
Yeah. Oh, don't say that. I mean, to be fair, the inspiration for the show comes from obviously the show you and Savannah do, the Dirty Diva show.
Oh, stop it.
Obviously, sort of first got me into Star Wars podcast was the first one I listened to.
Really?
Yeah, and then obviously off the back of that, I started listening to the Sky Talkers, which is the best
Agreed.
podcast on the planet.
By far.
Yeah, so and I just thought, obviously, I'm not going to be that podcast, but I have a lot of fun. So I thought, let's not take it too serious and let's just have a fun slogan.
There you go. I like it. I like it a lot. You're killing it.
Yeah, man. Let's just dive straight in there. So it's been a quiet news week.
Yeah.
Obviously,
nothing has happened.
As we record this, the trailer's dropping in a few days.
Yep. It's on the way.
So I just want to focus on the rise of Skywalker today.
Of course. Let's do it.
So we're going to start off with, we're going to focus on items from Star Wars canon, sort of since 2015, 2014, when sort of the canon got rebooted, so to speak.
Sure.
And we're looking at things that we think might pay off in Rise of Skywalker.
Okay, I like it.
Because we are 63 days away from Rise of Skywalker, so...
63, that's it?
63 days, yeah.
Oh, man. That's
think about it,
not
just
long at
over
all.
2 months.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
We're here.
We are indeed. It's when that trailer drops on Monday.
I know.
It's going to be a frenzy.
It's going to be nuts. It's another teaser, isn't it? Or is it a full-length trailer? Do we know yet? I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. I just assumed it was the theatrical trailer.
That'd be cool. Yeah,
but
I wonder what they're going to do.
So...
I wonder what the rollout's going to be, being that this is, Episode 9, like the last Skywalker saga movie. Are they going to do anything different as far as rollouts go with, trailers and TV spots and, teasers and whatnot? I'm interested. I'm very interested.
I hope we get less TV spots than we have had in the past, because I think we've had quite a lot. Usually we get the trailer and then we get a lot of TV, over 20 TV spots sometimes.
Yeah.
For Force Awakens and Last Jedi.
Yeah, you're right.
So I wouldn't mind having less of those. But I guess it's designed for get the general movie going public. My money, you've got my money, my butt's in the seat.
Yep, same.
But the general public and Star Wars fans, obviously, these TV spots get them going. So I understand that aspect of it, but I just hope there's a bit less, because there's some aspects I would not rather see.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I mean, for example, if you take The Last Jedi, there was a TV spot just before the movie came out where it showed you Rey with Kylo's lightsaber.
Yes.
So straight I was like, oh my God, what's going on there? And then obviously when you watch the movie, it's because I think I would have loved that moment more if I hadn't seen her holding it.
Sure.
But because I sort of knew it was coming, it was a little bit bit of a downer on it.
It's very interesting what they choose to show, right? Especially for Episode 9. The first teaser trailer we get at Celebration has Palpatine's laugh in it. That's such a mic drop,
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, because let's just go back to that panel. That panel was crazy because, the laugh happened.
Yeah.
And then the title comes up because I hadn't said the title. So I couldn't focus on the title because I was dealing with the laugh. And then I was reading the title and couldn't focus on the laugh. And I didn't know my brain just was boggled. It didn't know what to do.
Oh, yeah.
So when I came out, my cousin who I was there with, Alan, who usually hosts the show with me, who was a great host, and we're missing him. He's back next week. He was like, dude, what's wrong? You look like you're sort of, you're not happy. And I was like, no, it's not that. My brain's melted. It needs to get put back together. Cause the laugh was jaw dropping. And the title come up and it was like, oh, what? I need to concentrate on that now, but I haven't actually concentrated on that laugh yet. It sort of really threw us. So
it's just overload.
Yeah. So and then obviously the whole Dark Ray thing and the little snippet we got at D23 was also a big giveaway. Maybe if that's that's where they're going with that character.
Right.
So they've let that. It's one of those things where, like, if that's a plot point, like the Dark Ray, I hope it's. I would wish they hadn't showed us it. Like, if that's going to be a major part of the plot.
Right.
So that's something that happens in the movie that'll be like a major payoff.
Sure. I'm interested, especially with like episode 8, because if you remember in the movie, Rey takes her lightsaber and she like has it down and then she lifts it up, whereas in the trailer beforehand they reversed it as if she was like about to fight someone, and it was the other way around. So it's very interesting what they tend to do to kind of throw us off a little bit, you know. And I kind of like that. I want to go in not expecting or not knowing what to expect, you know. Be surprised.
Yeah, definitely that's what I'm after as well. So
yep.
But they do show cool things. Hey, go back to Phantom Menace, where they made the decision to show the doubling the lightsaber in the trailer.
Yeah, true.
But it made everyone lose their minds. Everyone go and watch the movie, didn't it? So it was very, very well, very good marketing.
Agreed.
So it's just about getting that balance, I think. I mean,
I agree.
But we will find out, I guess.
We will in 63 days.
So so if you just to talk about the trailer a bit more, it's coming on Monday.
Sure.
So you were saying, obviously, we got Palpatine's Laffit celebration.
Yep.
Day 23, we got Dark Ray.
Yep.
Do you think we'll get something equally as crazy and powerful, like imagery or storyline hint-wise, in this one?
I think so. I think this will be, assuming if it's a theatrical trailer, I'm sure we'll get a little more story, right? If it's a teaser, I think we'll probably get another reveal. I kind of hope this one is more like about the secondary characters. You know what I mean? Because like you said, first one, you know, the Palpatine mic drop. The second one, Dark Ray. This one, I would like to see more about like Poe and Finn and Rose. You know what I mean? Like what else is going on here? Like show me Claude in a trailer. You know, what's Snap up to? I'd like to see that in this one.
Yeah, because obviously, if you look at the Lego set that was released on Force Friday, obviously Snap's in the A-Wing.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so pumped about that.
So is he flying one in the movie?
I hope so. Dude, I love A-Wings.
Yeah, I've been a bit confused by, obviously we've seen Poe's X-Wing get released as like for the 3.75-inch figures, the vintage collection. But then in the Lego set, he comes with a Y-Wing.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting, isn't it?
So I think maybe we're going to get quite a bit in this movie.
Maybe. That's another thing I'm really excited about with this movie is like the culmination. It's the last one, you know, in this storyline. So like, how many of the stops are they going to pull? You know, like have Poe said he can fly anything. Let's see him fly everything. You know.
I like that idea. That's awesome.
You know, and more aliens. I'm so excited for more aliens. That's what I hope for the new trailer on Monday. I want to see more aliens.
We've got to think, obviously, if they've obviously showed with a picture of Claude.
Yep.
That type of thing.
Yep.
There must be going to show. What's the droid maker called? Is it Boba Fink or Baba Fink?
Babu Frick.
Babu Frick.
Yeah.
So they've obviously teased him now. So
I know.
We are getting some creatures, so maybe we'll get quite a lot of those.
That's what I'm hoping.
In the trailer.
Yeah, dude, I'm pumped. Babu Frick, I'm already obsessed. I love him.
How big is he then? Is
tiny.
He like size of a shin? Like somebody's
yeah,
shin?
He's like the size of 3PO's head. He's a tiny little guy.
And he's a droid builder.
He's a droid builder. I have a theory that Matt Smith is going to voice him.
Oh, Matt Smith, yeah.
That's what I think.
He was in this movie. Yeah.
That's what I think, because they announced he was going to be in it, and then we've heard literally nothing since the announcement, right? So I was like, where's he going to be? Where's he going to be? And people are like, are you in Star Wars? He's like, I think I'm in Star Wars. I don't know. Like, if he voiced a character, you know, like Jon Favreau did for Rio.
Yeah.
Have Matt Smith be the voice of Babu Frick, who's clearly significant because he comes with the 3PO figure. You know? So, like, I hope he has a big role, and I kind of hope it's voiced by Matt Smith. I just think that'd be fun.
Do you think that Babu Frick is going to be responsible for 3PO's red eyes?
I don't know. That's the thing. Like, that's the fun of this whole thing leading up to it. It's like, I have no clue. None of us have any idea. So I love the idea that, like, what does that even mean? He has red eyes. Like, is he in the middle of, like, just switching stuff and it's going through the colors? Is he, like, there's theories out there of him getting his memories returned? Like, what is going on? He's covered in weapons. He's got all of Chewie's stuff. Like, what is happening? Is he just carrying it or is he using it? You know? So many questions.
I think he's using it.
Yeah, that'd be
Which
nuts.
I think it's really cool, but I just hope that doesn't mean anything bad has happened to Chewbacca.
Yeah, for real, man. But I hope. Yeah, I would like for Babu Frick to be like 3PO's like buddy, kind of like in the Han Solo books. What was his name? Bullocks. You know, there's like the little guy inside of the droid. Something like that. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I'd like that. So I'm just excited for more creatures. You know, more aliens, more stuff like that. Like, I'm pumped. Like, I remember one of the guys who works on the creature effects team was talking about, he said every now and then there'll be a creature on set that is puppeteered so well that they forget that it's a puppet. And he was talking in reference to Babu Frick. So I'm like, let me see some of that. I know, right?
How small he is, well, that's crazy.
Yeah, he's like the size of a porg.
That's special.
But he's a person. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Can't wait. And he looks so cool. It's like a little monkey guy.
Yeah, I was loving the way he looks. I like the way he looks like he's sort of, I don't know, he sort of looks like type of guy who would like live in the junkyard.
Yeah.
Almost with the Jawas, and he'd be like stealing bits of junk because he can use it to build droids and fix droids and customize droids with all this junk.
Exactly. And he just looks feisty. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Didn't he build Dio?
Ooh, I didn't think about that. That'd be cool. Because he's like the size of Dio.
Yeah, because obviously saying Dio was like a custom built droid on it. He's not like a factory setting astromech.
Right.
So you get astromechs from the factory for use. He looks the same Dio. I got the impression that said Dio was more like homemade.
Yeah, I'd be down with that. That'd be cool.
So maybe.
Yeah, I'm for it.
That's that.
I'm for it. I'm excited for that as well because like Dio in the figures comes with Rey. So like Rey's got a new buddy because I'm assuming BB-8 is going to go back with Poe. You know, so I would like to see that.
Maybe I can see BB-8 going with maybe Finn.
Ooh,
and
okay.
I can see R2D2 flying the X-wing with Poe if there's a final battle.
That would be amazing. I'm excited to see R2 in the front again.
I hope he's in the front again.
You know,
crossed.
He's in the new like ads, like the promotional posters and stuff. He's up front. He's in front of Rey and everybody else. So cool. I hope. I mean, 3PO's clearly has a bigger role. You know, so I'm excited to see R2 save the day one more time.
Definitely. I mean, that's what he does.
Yeah, I agree. And
I love the little hint we got in The Last Jedi where he was interacting with Luke.
I know.
Like, he is such a great character.
He is.
So I hope we get one more ride, one more hurrah out of R2D2.
Agreed. I hope this whole movie is just one more hurrah. You know, like the final, this is it, let's do it, everything is on the table, the galaxy is at stake, let's go save the world. Definitely.
Yeah. So I'm gonna dive into Star Wars canon, so that's things that aren't movies, but sort of are involved in the sort of the storyline.
Sure. The EU.
Yeah, so I've got 5 things that I've picked out of Star Wars canon since 2014-15 when it got rebooted that I think might pay off in The Rise of Skywalker.
Okay.
So first thing I want to talk about is the Force Tree, which obviously debuted in Shattered Empire.
Yes.
Luke
Great
Skywalker
series.
Stole. It was 2 trees, wasn't it?
It was 2 trees, yep. He kept one, and then he gave another one to Poe's parents.
Yeah, so he stole 2 trees from an Imperial conservatory.
Yep.
One of Palpatine's, wasn't it? One of these places where he keeps these artifacts and things.
Yep.
And obviously he kept one, so we don't know where he put that. And he gave one to Poe Dameron's mother, who planted it on Yavin 4.
Yep.
And that's all I know about them.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much all we got from him.
Yeah, but it's obviously quite an important thing when you think about that Force Tree. I remember me and you when we met in Celebration in Orlando after seeing the new trailer and we saw the old tree.
Right.
And we were like, we went to each other like, is that a Force tree? Is it not a Force tree?
Yeah.
Obviously the tree that you would have set on fire. Obviously it's not this Force tree, but if there's 2, there could be more.
Right.
Do you think we'll get a reference to those Force trees that Luke stole? And also, if not, do you think we'll see any other type of Force tree?
I hope so. I mean, I don't know if we'll see those specific trees, you know? But I do hope that Episode 9 is like hardcore Force stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see the Force brought back into balance and, like, light side versus dark side. Like, big spiritual, mystical stuff. You know, because we haven't really dived super deep into it yet in the new trilogy. We got closer in episode 8 for sure, with Luke's new Force powers and the Force bond and the tree and stuff. But I want to see, like, I mean, I hope there's Force ghosts. You know what I mean? I'm secretly holding out for Qui-Gon, obviously. But I think it'd be the best thing if, like, Force Ghost Anakin showed up. You know what I mean?
Oh, I want that. I think that makes sense.
Yep.
Even in that, if you look at the first trailer, 1,000 generations live in you now.
Yeah,
like,
you know?
These generations must have been talking to her. You know, obviously, we know Anakin's a ghost. We know Obi-Wan's a ghost. We know Yoda's a ghost.
Yep.
We know Luke's now a ghost. And I've not read it all yet, but is it true, you'll know this, what was the book called? You know, the 40th anniversary collective book?
Yes.
It had the 40 different stories.
Yeah, it's from a certain point of vieo.
That's the one. Claudia Gray's story. It's
Yes.
a Qui-Gon story, is that correct?
Yep, it's called Master and Apprentice.
So, what a little tie in there to us.
You know, it's like she was thinking about it ahead of time.
Yeah. In that story, does she reference that Qui-Gon can be a ghost?
She does. She does. In that book, she mentions... I remember sending a tweet to Leland Shee at the time because I was like, is this saying what I think it's saying? And he was like, well, kind of. I mean, because that was the thing about From a Certain Point of View, was it was like canon adjacent is how they described it. I was like, oh, come on, guys, don't tease me. But in that story, yeah, Qui-Gon did come back like corporeally. He finished his training on the other side. But as to whether that comes through, I would be happy with a voice, really. Just have Liam Neeson record one line, you know, to Daisy Ridley, and I'm golden. I'd be like, all right, cool. Star Wars is done for me. We've peaked. But I would love to see them dive real deep into the Force stuff, be it Force Tree or whatever it is in Episode 9. Just pull out all the stops, man. Let's go for it. This is the last one, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Do you think we'll go to Yavin 4?
Ooh, I didn't think about that. That would be cool as well, to go to, like, past planets, you know, see how they're doing. I think that'd be neat.
Because you've got to think, obviously, they recreated the set pretty good for Rogue One, so they've got no problem.
Yeah, I mean, they could.
Recreating Yavin 4. Obviously, we know there's a Force tree there.
Sure.
So maybe Luke's went, these Force trees are here. Go and meditate there. Go and train next to these trees.
Maybe. I'm so down.
Definitely. Moving on from that, I'm going to talk about Ray Sloan.
Let's do it.
Grand Admiral in the Imperial Navy.
One of the best EU characters ever.
100%. She's my favourite character in the last 5 years who I've encountered. Obviously, she's an Imperial Grand... is she a Grand Admiral?
She is a Grand Admiral, yeah.
Grand Admiral, who's obviously in the fight after Palpatine's death.
Yep.
It sort of becomes involved in the fight for who's going to manage the Empire.
Yep. She was at the Battle of Jakku.
Yeah, and she's obviously not part of the contingency plan.
That is true.
But ends up inserting herself into the contingency plan.
Yep.
Do you think? I mean, we've not heard her mentioned at all in the new movies, but because she was so prominent in old canon, am I right in thinking that even before Aftermath, wasn't she involved in a Rebels novel?
She wasn't a
Grand Admiral?
Yeah, she was in A New Dawn, which was the first book of the new canon.
As a captain, is that correct?
As a captain, and she worked up the ranks and whatnot. And she's been in multiple books. She's been around. She's an Imperial loyalist. Like you said, she does insert herself into the contingency plan. I mean, those are Imperial class Star Destroyers we see in the trailer for Episode 9.
It sure is, yes.
You know, I mean, last time we saw her, she was an Imperial loyalist that went somewhere with the contingency. So, I mean, it's not outside of the realm of possibility. I would be so down. I love Ray Sloan. I think she's great.
I think she's great as well. And while I'm happy with the content we've got, and I would take more books about her as well.
Yeah.
I think it would be brilliant to sort of glue it all together by having her appear in the movies.
For sure.
So moving on from Ray Sloan, we'll talk about Black Squadron, which is obviously Poe's
team.
X-Wing Squadron. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously they're not in The Last Jedi.
That is true.
We didn't see them die either.
That is true.
because they survived the assault on Starkiller Base.
Yep.
If you read the Poe comic, obviously you find out why they're not there. Leia sent them on a mission elsewhere because she knows the chase is about to be on.
Yep.
Obviously, we've seen Snap Wexley, Temmin Wexley, played by Greg Grunberg, in the last trailer.
Yep.
So we know he's back. Do you think we'll get like Jess back and Cara Kun, who was I believe in the comics she's now Temmin's wife? Is that correct?
I believe so.
So it will make sense for those characters to be there if this is the end and they're obviously connected that way.
Right. I mean, I hope we see them. Yeah. I mean, because that's the other thing is like you got to explain where they were. Because he was all over the place in 7. Speaking of Snap. So to bring him back, it's like, all right, where were you at the Battle of Crate when we almost got completely wiped out? You got a little explaining to do. Then what were the fruits of your efforts? Like, did it work? So, yeah, I mean, I hope we see them. I like Jess Pava. I like Jessica Henwick a lot.
She's great.
I would like to see her back. I would like to see Poe flying with his team. Because it's like this. So far in the sequel trilogy, like the good guys have been on the run. The bad guys have been winning. Episode 7, they blew up Starkiller Base, but then immediately were chased by the Supremacy. So it's like they're down to like 20 people in the Resistance by the end of episode 8. One ship. So I'm like, okay, where do we go from here? You know what I mean? Like we have a spark. Let's see what that fire looks like in episode 9.
Yeah, definitely. Because I think it'll be great. Obviously, we've got to rebuild the Resistance essentially from scratch.
Yeah, so exactly.
The fact that Black Squadron weren't there, but they were sort of out looking for help. And also, like, the tie-in with canon, if you play Battlefront 2, the story campaign.
Yep.
You've obviously got, I'm rubbish for names today, Janina Gavank's character.
Yep, Iden Versio.
Iden Versio, that's the one. Obviously, her daughter turns up at the car just before the First Order arrive, and Leia sends them off on a mission to find more people.
Yep, with Shriv.
With Shriv. So maybe her and Shriv are going to turn up with a group of people. Maybe Black Squadron turn up with a group of people. Lando's going to turn up with a group of people. And then before you know it, like Resistance is starting to build back up.
That'd be I would get so hyped. Can you imagine if we see like Shriv in the background of like a scene?
Oh, that would be awesome. I mean, even in the line.
Right?
Because you could just have, imagine you could have Shriv and Iden's daughter just having a little chat in the background.
You could.
Quite close.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
Definitely, because this is what I thought about. Obviously, when Leia loses hope at the end of The Last Jedi, before Luke restores it, say that no one's answered the call.
Right.
I've always interpreted it as like nobody ignored the call. I always thought, essentially, you don't know how far away these people were who received the call. Sure.
Like they could be on their way, but we're not sure.
Yeah, or maybe they got the call, and then obviously all the First Order's there. We'll rendezvous. Maybe they meet up with the Falcon later.
Sure.
Because like even if like these little rebel cell had heard the call and turned up, they would have got decimated by the First Order.
That's true.
Because the whole the First Order fleet is there. Like look at how many walkers there's there.
Yeah, for real.
So I've always thought that not that the call wasn't ignored and wasn't answered. I just thought it was sent out with not a lot of time left. So even when people heard the call, I think the events have already took place, and then the people would get in touch with Leia after. And I think that's where you're going to see the Resistance rebuilding.
Sure, I'd be down with that.
And obviously builds to the point where it can challenge the First Order again.
Yeah, I would love to see like a moment, like an Endgame, when like all the Avengers assembled. I would love to see something like that, but with the Resistance. It's like there's the giant fleet of Star Destroyers, here's the Resistance, and then like, let's do this. And then it just battle, you know what I mean? Like the biggest Star War of it all. I think it'd be so cool. At the same time, having like a Force battle going on between Rey, Kylo, Palpatine, and a Force Ghost or whatever. Like, I get so hyped just thinking about it. Yeah,
it's going to be... It's one of those things where I'm so excited for this movie.
Yep.
But then I also get like, I don't want to say sad because it's not sadness, but like the fact it's like the end of like the Skywalker saga.
Sure, and, it's like bittersweet.
It's like, am I ready for that? Am I ready for that story to come to an end? And it's
sure.
Probably not, but I'm also probably never going to be ready because it's like my favorite story of all time.
Yep, I agree.
And these things have to end. So like my favorite TV show of all time is The Shield,
Nice.
starring Michael Chiklis.
Yeah, Kurt Sutter, man.
And to me, that show has the perfect ending.
Sure.
But did I want the show to end? Probably not, because I love the show, but it had the perfect ending.
Right.
So it's sort of, it's hard, it's complicated, isn't it? Like, these things we love. But so I'm really pumped for this movie. I'm also like, oh no, like, it's ending.
Right.
What do I do? What do I do now? Type of thing. Obviously, there's going to be Star Wars after it.
Yeah,
But this actual
totally.
Skywalker story, which like captivated my mind at like age 4.
Right. Yeah, I agree with
It's
you.
like
It's bittersweet because
strange.
you don't want it to end, but at the same time, it's better to end while you're on top. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want it to keep going until we're on like episode 20 and we're like, ooh, like 8 of those weren't very good. You know, but
Yeah,
if you can
no,
like,
definitely.
if you can have this final thing, like, that's why I love episode 6 so much, because episode 6 was like the perfect ending. You know what I mean? Everything was at stake. There's a second Death Star. The Emperor's there. We got a ground battle and a space battle happening at the same time while Luke is battling Vader. Like, this whole, everything is at stake, and then the good guys win in the end. And I'm like, oh, it's perfect. You know, so I would like to see episode 9 be like episode 6 but on steroids. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's what I want.
I'm hoping for that as well.
Yep.
Moving on from Black Squadron, I want to talk about Mustafar, and in particular
Ooh.
Vader's castle.
Yes.
So it's been obviously, if you read the visual dictionary for The Last Jedi, Snoke has a ring that's made out of part of Vader's castle,
Yep.
a stone.
Crazy.
And then obviously, and then obviously we've also got Vader Immortal, the ILM X-Lab VR series, which
Yeah.
delves into sort of what Vader's doing there. And it appears a lot in children's comics as well, and in the Vader comic, actually building the castle.
Yeah.
That's a big
So
part of
good.
that. So do you think maybe we're going to hear it mentioned, or do you think we're going to go there in this movie?
I would love to go there. You know what I mean? Because like, it's mentioned in the visual dictionary, so we got to mention. But I would love it if Kylo like went full dark side. Was like, how I'm the supreme leader now. How do I keep going for more and more power? You know what I mean? Like, if he actually went to Mustafar, started going into Vader's castle and like looking for stuff to use to keep the galaxy in line, and like maybe rebuild his helmet on Mustafar. You know what I mean? Like, I just think that'd be so cool, because Vader would go to Mustafar and just sit there and like meditate and be consumed by the dark side. I think it'd be cool if we got a scene of Kylo doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think
like full on him becoming Darth Vader.
Yeah, I think that would be absolutely brilliant. I hope we do go there.
Yep.
I think it'd be great to see it. I think it'd be great as well because like they introduced this design for Rogue One, and then I'm getting it here,
Yeah, right?
and it's just so subtle, but so simple, but so awesome.
I agree.
It's all sort of coming together.
It would tie it all together as well with the sequel trilogy. Like, having Mustafar there would bring in the prequel trilogy to the conversation. You know what I mean? Because like, everything's so sequel now. And then with some legacy characters, we've got the originals. So if we had Mustafar in episode 9, it like ties the whole story together.
Yeah,
I'd be
definitely.
down.
I'm on board. I hope it happens.
Same.
I think they've mentioned it's in like I said, it's in The Last Jedi, although not mentioned, but it's in Snoke's ring.
Yep.
It was in Rogue One. It's in the Darth Vader comics. It's in this VR series, which cost a lot of money to develop. So it's quite central to a lot of things in canon.
Right.
For the last like 4 years. So I think that they're doing that for a reason, I hope, and I think they're going to get the payoff.
It looks like breadcrumbs.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Moving on from that, I want to talk about everybody's favourite Force Priest. Is he a Force Priest? Can we call him that?
Yeah, he's an elder of the Church of the Force, right? Something like that. I like Force Priest. That's a good idea. I like that.
Yeah. So obviously, Lor San Tekka.
Lor San Tekka.
Who we got in Force Awakens briefly at the start, who I think scenes are awesome.
Yep.
Really does sets up for who Ben Solo, well, not Ben Solo, but who Kylo Ren is. Like, he
Definitely.
cuts him down very viciously without even thinking.
Yeah, an unarmed priest.
And they know each other. He's obviously a family friend, so he
Yeah.
doesn't have a. So I think it does set up Kylo for being
Hardcore.
Yeah, he's,
A monster.
he's a very vicious monster when he wants to be.
Yeah.
And where deep down I don't feel he is that. I'm very much on the boat of I'm like Ben Demission.
Right on. That's all right.
But I think when he does do these like monstrous things, and that's where he gets lost. When doing these monstrous things takes away your humanity until one point you can't get back. So what I always said that it's like this: the tragedy of Anakin Skywalker is that he crossed that line where you don't know how to get back.
Right.
How do you come back? So Anakin killed the Jedi, turned on his best friend, attacked his wife.
Yeah.
And he realizes pretty much straight away, I think, that he's made a mistake. But it's like, how do you put that mistake right?
Yeah, it's true.
You can't. You just got. And if you read all the canon material about Anakin after that point, Vader, he just gets more and more angry because he's more and more sad because he knows he's made mistakes.
Yeah.
And I think if you go, he never says, but I think if he could go back, he wouldn't make those choices, but he did. And how can he make those things right? And it's the question. Answer is you can't.
Sure.
And when he gets the opportunity with his son, obviously he makes a choice that sort of redeems him.
Right.
But it takes all those years to get that opportunity presented. But if you went sort of, because even if you just turn around and killed Palpatine, like it wouldn't bring back his wife or his kids or bring back the Jedi Order.
Yep, it's true.
And he doesn't want to be Emperor because he never really, sort of the big flaw in the Sith with him is sort of what like leads them to become extinct. Also believe is that the apprentice is meant to want to kill the master.
Right.
I don't think Anakin ever wanted to like kill Palpatine to take his place. Might want to kill him because he didn't like him, but he never wanted to kill him to take his place. He never craved that.
Sure. Especially at the end. Like he definitely, I'm sure he thought about it in episode 5 when he was like, join me and we'll rule the galaxy as father and son. But I don't think it was like there were a lot of things that led to that decision. You know what I mean? It wasn't just like, I want to rule the galaxy. It was like, I have a son now, so what if I just killed Palpatine because he's a hatred thing? But then, I don't know, it was like Anakin, when he fell and became Darth Vader, he knew what he did and he lived with his decision, but was like constantly punishing himself. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it was like 100%. his own sort of like penitence,
Yeah.
Crazy character.
Definitely. So I think Lawson Tegger, getting back on point.
Yeah.
It's the crazy thing about Star Wars, isn't it? It's just tangents everywhere.
For real. And having me on your show. What were you thinking?
Well, I love tangents, so
yeah.
I don't mind it.
Yeah, you called the right guy. But yeah, Lor San Tekka, an unarmed Force priest cut down by Kylo Ren. Yeah.
So yeah, do you think maybe he's very well, he's in the Poe Dameron comic as well, he's very well connected to the Skywalker family.
Yep.
Like he has this piece in the map.
Yep.
So he knows where Luke is.
Sure.
I don't know how he got that, but he obviously must be well connected.
Right.
Obviously Leia Organa, Luke's sister, trusts him quite a bit.
Sure.
Obviously Ben knows him, so Kylo Ren knows him, so whether that be from his younger days, I'd imagine it would be. So I don't think he's obviously Lawson Tegger's dead. Do you think maybe we're going to get maybe a reference to him or like a flashback? He's obviously connected to the Skywalkers, connected to Ben Solo.
Sure.
And I think we're going to get a lot of Ben Solo in this movie. Do you think maybe we're going to get some Lawson Tegger?
I don't know if we'll get Lor San Tekka specifically, but I would be surprised if we didn't get something about the Church of the Force. You know what I mean? Like the order that he was a part of, like being, maybe they'll play a hand in the rise of the Resistance.
Well, yeah. I had this thought. I don't know why it popped in my head, but in the first trip, I think it was in the D23 footage. There's a bit where it shows you like the main cast, and then it cuts to what they're looking at. Right. And there's like loads of people and loads of fabrics, and there's like
they're like Burning Man.
like dustworks going off.
Right.
And like I thought, is that the Church of the Force?
Right. Yeah, I'd be down. Like it has like Jedha feels to it,
Yeah, like I definitely had that sort of like Force-like feel, and I thought like maybe that's the Church of the Force.
Yeah, I'd be down.
So maybe we'll get not Lawson Tegger, but maybe we'll get Church of the Force.
Sure.
I mean, I'm not mentioning this. Obviously, you've got Church of the Force. On the other hand, what about the acolytes of what they're called? Acolytes of Darkness. Well, they're in the Aftermath novels.
Oh, right. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
they think they've got Vader's lightsaber, but they're not sure. But they've got a lightsaber.
Right.
The terrorist group.
I forgot about that. Yeah, you're right.
Maybe that's the opposite of the Church of the Force, maybe.
Maybe.
But we shall wait and see. But yeah, so that was like my 5 things that I sort of think have been quite prominent in canon over the last 5 years.
Sure.
And obviously we're getting the end of sort of this era coming.
Right.
63 days.
Yeah.
So have you got any other things that you think might turn up?
I mean, I don't know. It's such a question mark, because Palpatine threw me for a loop. There's no way I ever would have expected that to happen. So by that being the first reveal of what we got for Episode 9, it's like I can't even predict what's going to happen because the unpredictable has already happened. And that was the teaser. Like, it wasn't like that's going to be the biggest reveal of the movie. It was like, this is the tip of the iceberg. And we imagined this would be like the biggest reveal ever of the movie.
Yeah.
It's like, if they're giving us this as a taste, what are we about to experience?
Yeah. Here's a question for you.
Sure.
Palpatine, is he full-bodied or is he a ghost?
I think, so here's what I think. You can't be a Force ghost with the dark side, right? Like, just plain and simple, that's the whole point. Through being selfless, and that's how you become one with the Force and retain your identity. Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, Yoda, Luke now. So for a dark side user to be able to do the same thing, I think would kind of discredit the whole thing. But in the Vader comics, we get Lord Momin, right? So I imagine Palpatine is going to be something like Lord Momin, or like the Sith that are trapped in their temples in Knights of the Old Republic. Like Nagasato and Ajun Tapal and stuff like that. So I would not be surprised if Kylo is trying to get more dark side and get more power, to try and beat Rey and Luke and whoever. He's just trying to beat everybody. I would like to see him find some like Sith artifacts that Palpatine is still kind of connected to, kind of like a Horcrux sort of deal. I would like to see that. I don't think he's still around physically. But I also would not be surprised if Palpatine was pulling the strings the entire time. Because episodes 1 through 6, he literally planned all of it. So if he's still if we find out that he was pulling Snoke strings. Like he was talking to Snoke and telling him what to do in the same way that he played Dooku. You know what I mean? Dooku was around to try and test the mettle of Anakin, and when Anakin killed Dooku, he was like, all right, cool, now I have a more stronger apprentice. Maybe Palpatine is doing the same thing, except it's Snoke and Kylo.
Yeah, I like that. That makes a lot of sense. Just for those who don't know, obviously, Lord Mormon, what is like a Sith Lord who died, whose essence is stuck to a helmet.
Yep.
And also, I think, I don't know if it's in the actual episode, but there's definitely a deleted scene, if not, where, oh no, it is an episode. Obviously, Yoda goes to Moraban and encounters Darth Bane, Ghost. Who's
same.
Obviously voiced by Mark Hamill, Darth Bane. And he's sort of trapped to his tomb, isn't he?
Yeah, same thing. I would love to see that, like Palpatine do that, you know what I mean? But my pie in the sky, like, biggest dream, like tinfoil hat on, like, if I could have anything happen, I would love to see Palpatine, like, what's left of Palpatine, the Force Spirit Ghost, whatever the hell it is, to fight Force Ghost Anakin Skywalker. You know what I mean? Have Anakin come full circle, because he is the chosen one. Like George Lucas straight up said, he is the chosen one. He's meant to bring balance to the Force, right? So what if we had literally like a light side Force Ghost and a dark side Force Spirit fighting for the Force itself? I think that'd be so cool, like Battle of the Titans style, like everything rests on this. While Anakin is fighting Palpatine, Rey is fighting Kylo, and like everything you know what I mean? Like everything has led to this. The biggest possible thing that can happen is going down in this movie. That's kind of like my hopes for episode 9. I would love to see that. Like, how cool would that be? Can you imagine?
Oh, it would be epic. I can't even
right?
imagine the edit, like skipping from like Rey Kylo to the Anakin Palpatine fight to the space
Right.
battle up in the air. It would be like, as you said before, it would be like sort of similar to Return of the Jedi, but on steroids.
Yeah.
Insane. Exactly what you said.
I think that'd be so cool.
Yeah, would be awesome. I want to jump now and talk about, obviously, we mentioned it, the new trailer
Yep.
for Rise of Skywalker is coming this Monday. It's going to air during Monday Night Football in the States.
Yep.
So people in the UK either stay up and watch that or just catch it in the morning on your way up.
There you
It'll
go.
be on YouTube. I want to get your like trailer predictions and hopes. So obviously I was under the impression, as I mentioned before, that it is the theatrical trailer.
Yep.
So obviously you said you think it might be the teaser trailer 2.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of going, if it's teaser trailer 2, sort of what are you thinking we might get and what do you want?
I mean, I kind of want, everybody else. We got the main players, we got everything else. I just want to see what else is going on. I would like to see more aliens, just because that's my thing. I kind of hope that we don't get very much, and I feel that way about this one coming up and like all of the ones afterwards. Like the less, the better. That way we're more surprised and more crazy things are revealed in the movie as opposed to, beforehand.
Yeah.
Yep. How about you?
I'd agree with those sentiments. I think less is more with Star Wars because one thing Star Wars has on its side is music.
Yep.
So if you just take the first trailer, you've got Rey standing in the desert. It's pretty boring if you think about it. But because of the heavy breathing, because of the way the camera pans out, the score, you get that sense of you get that sense of importance, and it makes you like your hairs stand up on your arms. And it's, if you actually break it down, if you look at it, it's actually nothing happening.
It's true.
But because of the way they put it together and with the awesome music, it means something. It strikes your emotions. So for me, they don't need to show too many crazy things. They can just show emotions, the feeling we're going to get in this movie, and that'll enough to get me excited.
I agree.
But I think it's going to be a theatrical trailer. Mainly just because we're so close to the movie now. It's 63 days away from the movie. So if this isn't a theatrical trailer, when do we get that?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So the movie's coming quick. So I think it's going to be the theatrical trailer. So I'm hoping for a few more story points. Obviously not all of them, but sort of just beats of what the Resistance are doing.
Right.
So, do you know what it is? I wouldn't mind if we didn't get any Palpatine at all.
Yeah, I agree.
Because then it would leave us going like, we don't know what's going on with him. We'll have to watch the movie to find out.
Yeah.
So I think that would be great. I think it would be funny if they stayed away from Dark Ray as well, 100%. So it's like, we've showed you Dark Ray.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're not, again, come and see the movie because we're not going to show you.
That's right. It's like you already know it's coming. You don't need to know anything else.
Yeah.
I agree.
But I wouldn't mind seeing, obviously we know Luke's a Force Ghost.
Yep.
So I wouldn't mind seeing that in the trailer. I think that'd be really cool.
That'd be neat.
So my hopes really are for less is more. Really nice score, lots of feelings coming from it. Like I said, I really wouldn't mind. I want to see Force Ghost Luke. He's my favourite character.
Sure.
And I wouldn't mind seeing some spaceships. I want to see lots of spaceships. Obviously, it's going to be A-wings, going to be X-wings, going to be Y-wings.
Mm-hmm.
Look like the. I don't think it was the Tantive 4, but there was a blockade runner type ship coming out of hyperspace in the last trailer.
Sure.
It looked like. And was that other ship I would love to see? Actually, speaking of aliens, I want to see some Mon Calamari, some Mon Calamaris.
Ooh, same.
Because here is a little theory I had. So imagine, because we don't know if Radis is dead, do we?
That is true.
So what if Radis rejoins the cause to like avenge Admiral Akbar?
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Because Stephen Thornton can come and voice him because he loves the character. He can come and voice him anytime. Do you know what I mean? So
sure.
I think it's totally within the realm. Again, it links it back to Rogue One in a very natural way.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because I know there's a bit in the comics at the minute. in the Journey to the Rise of Skywalker, there's a Leia goes back to Mon Cala.
Right. That'd be
But
cool.
I don't know. And suppose Akbar's son's there, and there's an awkward interaction because obviously Akbar's passed away.
Sure.
I don't know what happens. I've not read it. I don't know what happens. I don't know who else is there. But we're obviously hinting that if you need ships, that's where you're going to go. If you want big cruisers,
Yeah,
it's on First Order.
that's true.
As we know, like the Resistance is very good at getting like fighters and things like that. You can get them quite easily, either through people she knows on the black market.
Sure.
But big cruisers like the Mon Calamari cruisers, capital ships, very hard to get. But if you've got friends there, you'll be able to get them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing some of those guys. Be even more if they showed you Radis. That would be really exciting.
Yeah, I totally agree. I love Rest. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, like again, I don't have too much spell for us. Just want like simple plot points.
Sure.
Nothing too crazy, and hopefully nothing that's like a giveaway. Like I don't know if you watched Batman vs Superman.
Yes.
But obviously, like in the trailer, they give away Doomsday, and it's just like,
Yeah.
like, well, we know he's killing Superman.
Yeah.
And then obviously it happened in the movie. I'm like, it didn't even add into the trailer either. The big monster, like, it's like you've got Batman vs Superman, just put that in the trailer.
Yeah, I agree.
That's enough to get bums in the seat.
Yeah.
So, and obviously, one thing as well is that like obviously like Lucasfilm don't necessarily make the trailers.
Right.
So again, it's these trailer companies. So I just hope that again they don't give too much away. Because I want to go into the movie and go on this journey. I've always said cinema for me is like you're going on a journey. So like these filmmakers are telling stories and you're following the journey.
Right.
And obviously, your favorite movies you watch again and again and again. But that first time, you want to just not know what's happening, just follow it.
Right.
And, like go on the ups, go on the downs of the characters, follow the emotions, get taken away by it. So I'm hoping for a trailer that doesn't give too much away and allows me to do that in the movie.
There you go. I agree.
Awesome. So I haven't briefed you on this, Brian, so I'm sorry, but there's a couple of news stories I do actually want to talk about.
Let's do it.
So one is that, obviously, Kevin... How do you say Kevin Feige? Do you say Kevin Feige? Or
Yep.
do you say Kevin Feige?
Kevin Feige.
Because I say Kevin Feige, but
Yep, same.
it's one of those ones where when you first read it, you're like, is it Feige?
Yeah. Sure.
Especially in the UK where he's not really in the media much.
Right.
So you're just reading words. So it's like, how do you pronounce that? Don't know.
Sure.
So yeah, Kevin Feige is... Also, we know he's just signed a new deal at Marvel Studios.
Yep.
With a lovely new title to be head of creative.
Yeah.
Which I thought was what he did anyway, to be honest. But give him a fancier title and some extra millions, I'd imagine.
Of course.
Obviously, it's been announced that he is developing his Star Wars movie
Yep.
with Kathleen Kennedy.
That is true.
Obviously, it's in development. It might not see the light of day.
Yeah. You never know.
That happens all the time. Look at the Boba Fett film that was being done by... Oh, I forgot his name.
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
What was he called, the director?
Josh Trank.
Josh Trank, that's the one, yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, I'd imagine someone like Kevin Feige that wanted to get the movie out there. I've heard it's a one film thing.
Sure.
What's your thoughts on Kevin Feige coming in, and sort of, do you have any sort of hopes of what kind of film you want it to be, like timeline wise?
I'm pretty open as far, like, I mean, new Star Wars is new Star Wars. You know, as long as it's good, I don't really mind as far as where it fits in the canon. I mean, I'm down with it. I like Kevin Feige. I like the Marvel movies. I think on paper it makes the most sense. You know, I'm down. I'm down with it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm totally down. I mean, I love the Marvel movies, especially the Captain America ones are my favourite.
Nice.
I love the whole story going into sort of Civil War.
Yeah.
That was a big turning point in the
Same.
story. And then obviously, I thought Endgame was actually more of like the ending of Civil War, really,
Right.
rather than the ending of Infinity War,
Sure.
because it was essentially the coming together of Cap and Tony,
Right.
which we saw split in Civil War, and we got them to come together and obviously to save the world.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, they're the two. Everything builds towards Civil War for me. The splitting of them,
Sure.
and then obviously after that leads towards the coming together.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, I think timeline-wise, I don't mind. I'd probably want it to be, if I had to choose, maybe a little bit away from the Skywalker Saga timeline, just because that's still going to, obviously it's ending, and the ending's going to be really fresh. Now we want the ending to settle
Right.
a little bit before we sort of delve back into it, for me. I think it's great someone of his caliber is coming in. One thing I will say was that at Marvel, he's obviously sort of like, he picks the good storytellers to tell the stories, is how I've always thought of it.
I agree.
So he's developing this movie. Is he developing the story himself, or is he going to bring someone in to tell the story? Who knows?
Probably that one, I imagine, because he's not like a writer. You know what I mean? He just knows how to find the right people for the right story.
Yeah. And my only concern is that I hope this isn't like going to fill in the space instead of like what Rian Johnson's developing.
Right.
Because obviously I know Rian Johnson's meant to be developing like a trilogy of movies.
Right.
That he said he might direct the first one, but like he interviewed this week Rian Johnson. He was asked, he's a bit like, he's still working on it, but him and things are changing. It was some all the time what he was saying for like when the movie's going to be done.
Right.
And for me, I took that as this isn't like a given that we're getting this.
Sure. I mean, they have so much announced, with the Game of Thrones guys, with Rian Johnson, and I'm just down.
And obviously the Game of Thrones guys' stocks dropped quite a bit due to reactions to that final season of Game of Thrones, which I'm not going to comment on that I didn't, but obviously public reaction was quite negative.
Sure.
Obviously I think ratings dropped a little bit. So I think it's a bit like, again, are they going to go all in with those guys? It came out of the blue, the Kevin Feige thing. I was a bit surprised, but I'm hopeful. Like I said, he's produced some of my favourite movies he's produced. Winter Soldier's probably one of my favourite films. He produced that, he put that together.
Right.
So yeah, I'm just hoping that it's sort of removed from the Skywalker saga.
Same, I agree.
And that he gets a good team in. Who's to say he doesn't go and get James Gunn or something like that?
Right, yeah, you never know.
So he's got relationships with a lot of people.
Yeah, it's true.
So we will see. So moving on from that, we love talking about merchandise on the show. Obviously, it was Triple Force Friday quite recently.
Yep.
In the UK, that actually hunting for figures on the day. Well, I took the day off work, and it proved pretty fruitless. I just bought a T-shirt.
Yep.
In the Disney store. But I did manage to find the carbonised Black Series 6-inch Mandalorian and the carbonised Black Series 6-inch Sith Trooper, both on Amazon and Star Action figures. So they've arrived. I've just looked at them today for the first time. They've arrived today. So I managed to get those. So I was quite happy with those. They look awesome. I got them for like a fair price one. Before scalpers or anything got involved. So I found those good online, but I found the actual day quite disappointing. Because even like the UK Disney stores weren't even doing anything. They had new stuff in, but there was no costume guests in, or there was no free pins or free posters, which you often get in the US.
Right.
So it was quite disappointing on the day. But that was my main new merch. So I got those two figures. Have you got any new merch recently, Brian?
The only thing I got was so I got a shirt that was from Hot Topic. It's a Qui-Gon. It's actually like Duel of the Fates. It's Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan fighting Darth Maul, and it's like in a Japanese script, and it's like a painting on a shirt. I got that on Force Friday, and then I also picked up, thanks to Jonah Marie, actually, who's amazing. She picked me up a copy of the Secrets of the Jedi book that's coming out next month. They had advanced copies at New York Comic Con, so she picked me up one of those. Oh, wow. Yeah, so that's really exciting.
What's your thoughts? Have you read the book yet?
I just started flipping through it this morning, and it's amazing. I mean, Jedi are kind of my thing, obviously. So it's really cool. It's like told from the point of view of Luke Skywalker, and it's like his findings, and there's a bunch of like pop-ups and little inserts and stuff, and it's neat. It kind of reminds me of like the Jedi Path book, with the little things you can take out and put in and stuff, and it's cool. The art's really nice. I like it a lot.
And is it Luke telling the whole story of the Jedi?
Yeah, it's almost like a reference book. You know what I mean? Like there's pages about the dark side, and then things about Sith Lords, and then it breaks down which Sith, and then past stories, Force abilities, all kinds of stuff. It's really cool. I highly recommend it.
Because I had heard about it, and that's one of the ones I penciled in, but I had no idea when it was coming out.
Yeah, it's next month is when it comes out, like officially.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Have you read any of the novels lately?
So I'm almost done with Black Spire, and I'm digging it. I'm digging it a lot. I'm really looking forward to Resistance Reborn. That's one that's pretty high on my list right now, but I think that comes out next month, I believe.
Yeah, that Resistance Reborn is one I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be great.
I'm in the middle of Black Spire at the moment as well. I think I'm about 5 chapters in.
Nice.
It sort of took a back seat lately because obviously I'm in the middle of moving house.
Yeah, of course.
But once I'm in, it's going to be awesome because I need to read that. I need to finish that one. I need to finish Black Spire. And then I need to read Master and Apprentice by Claudia Greystow.
It's great.
Because I've got the book, I just haven't read it yet. And then I need to go and buy Thorn and Treason.
Yep.
And catch up on that one. Some of it. Usually I'm like sort of alright on the canon side, but I'm a little bit behind. But once I'm all moved in, we will remedy that.
Right.
Sort of merchandise I'm looking forward to. I'm really looking. They look awesome. So I don't know if you've seen them up front, but the lightsabers from Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
Not the ones that you make yourself, although that does look awesome. But then like the Master replicas, like the canon characters. Some of the pictures people put on them, they look awesome.
They do.
I mean, I own one lightsaber. Well, I own 2 lightsabers, actually. You're going to be like the second one.
Right.
So the first one is it was like the Hasbro Black Series Luke Skywalker lightsaber from A New Hope. But it's like the reversed version of it, if that makes sense.
Right.
So that's pretty cool. And then the other lightsaber one, which is nowhere near the quality, but it's actually from 1999. And it's the Qui-Gon Jinn lightsaber.
Nice.
That you used to use, like, play with your friends with, you know what I mean? Like, it's
Oh,
not
yeah.
really collectible.
Oh, yeah.
But that was my first lightsaber, that one, actually. So
Love it.
I thought I'd make you
Me too.
proud with the Qui-Gon.
Yeah. I still have mine. My first one from when I was like 8 years old. It's on my shelf right now. It's the old, like, flip it out, collapsible blade one.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the part of the blade is always visible because the blade folds into that bit to keep the strength. Yeah.
Yep. 100%.
Exactly the same one here.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
Right, Brian, I think that brings the end of our topics that I want to talk about.
Right on.
Is there anything else you want to chat about Star Wars wise?
I mean, I'm just excited. I think it's a really exciting time to be a fan. Episode 9 is 63 days. That's crazy. I'm glad that you asked me to come on. It's really exciting. I'm super happy. I love the show. I think you and Alan are doing a really good job. Like killing it right out the gate. So well done. Congrats on a show. I mean, you've done it.
Yeah, thanks, man. I mean, to be fair, I've always wanted to do one. I started one a couple of years ago. I did like a few episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And then just sort of like life got in the way, but also I let life get in the way, if that makes sense as well.
Right.
So a bit of both. And I think it was the real conversation I had with your co-host on the WTV show, Savannah.
She's amazing.
And I think she just said, like, you've got to like fake it till you make it.
That's 100% true.
And I was like, you know what it is? Like, I'm not going to have, at the minute, so at the time, like, I didn't have a podcast.
Right.
So therefore, how can I be enjoying a podcast, and how could I eventually get like a good podcast?
Sure.
Because I haven't got one. But if I've actually got a podcast, that means there's something there that you can develop and you can change and
for sure
grow and get a chat with those awesome people.
Right.
And it was really, I've heard I say it before, but I think just this time she said it, and I was just like,
it just clicked.
I was like, you like 100% need to be. If you're not making content, then how can you be making content that you like?
Sure.
So I'm not saying I'm happy with every podcast, but I'm saying because I'm making the content, it means that you can go, oh, well, that's that, and I can change that for the next one.
Yeah, definitely.
It's really fun and creative. not recording as much as we would like, just sort of work commitments and moving house. And believe it or not, me and Alan actually are never in the same room to record because I live in Newcastle and Alan lives in London.
Sure.
So it's finding the time to record as well.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, and obviously I'm wanting to get a lot of different guests on as well. So obviously you're the first guest to come on from America.
Right on. I'm proud. Thank you.
Yeah, but we're hoping to get more. Fingers crossed down the line.
Definitely. It's cool. I think it's great. It's a lot of work, and I have a lot of respect for anyone who decides to go this route and make your own podcast and get your voice heard because the community needs it. It needs more people, and your podcast is from you. And I think your voice is important, and I think it's great that it's among the fandom now. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, and that as well. I mean, I don't want to go into this too much, but I also feel it needs to be talked about.
Sure.
Now, I don't want to get too political, but like as a white male, I don't really experience this. I don't see it a lot, but then I see it mentioned based on people I follow.
Sure.
And obviously, like, there's quite a lot of negativity and quite a lot of gatekeeping.
Oh yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say quite a lot, but it's quite loud. I would say
it's definitely there.
I don't think it's, but it's definitely there. And like, it's something that I just think like we don't need it.
I agree.
And I thought that sure, it's like I'm not going to bang on about every episode, but if I can do an episode where I'm talking about Star Wars in a good light,
sure, then
that's sort of part of the battle against the negativity.
I totally agree.
So that's why I'm not asking you about anything that you don't like about Star Wars, or do you know what I mean? Because why would we want to talk about the negative side of it?
Sure. I mean, that's the thing, Rose said it best. It's not about fighting what we hate, it's about protecting what we love.
Yeah, definitely. So I thought I've got a positive relationship with Star Wars, and I just wanted to share that. And how can I do that? Well, do it with a podcast. Definitely.
And, us listeners are very thankful that you decided to take the plunge and go for it. Because positivity's needed, man.
Isn't it? Well, positivity in fandom.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what it's all about.
For sure.
Little Sky Talker shout out there.
That's right.
I think we're going to wrap the podcast up now. Brian, obviously, I introduced you at the start as podcast royalty. That's because you're on two awesome podcasts that I'm aware of.
I am on podcasts.
Do you want to tell us about your two podcasts that are awesome?
Yeah, for sure. I am a co-host on The Dorky Diva Show, which is a Star Wars podcast hosted by Savannah Odit and myself. It's different than most, mainly because we just argue all the time. So if you want to learn how to disagree agreeably, check it out.
I would say like anybody listening who's like, I think we've got mostly UK listeners. Mm-hmm. So if there's anybody there who's not aware of the Dorky Diva Show that Brian does co-host with Savannah, check it out. It's really fun. It's really crazy. It's really wacky. And it's like Star Wars all over. It's you just get immersed in it. I find it really fun. I find a plate and like the podcast will finish and you think you've spent like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
but it's been like in 2 hours.
Sure.
So it's probably the most like fun and wacky podcast out there for Star Wars.
Right on.
And I mean that in a good way. When I say wacky, I mean
I appreciate that. That's a great compliment.
Yeah, and then if you want to tell us about your second show, Brian, please.
And then I have my own show called The Interesting Podcast. If you search Brian Balance on pretty much anywhere you find podcasts, I'm sure you'll find it. It's a show where I talk to somebody whom I find interesting. It's just a regular conversation of me connecting with other people as people. It's been pretty great. We just hit 100 episodes, and check that out. I'm really proud of it. I think you'd enjoy it.
Yeah, so obviously the Interesting Podcast, I definitely recommend it. I love it.
Thank you.
I just want to, who's your top three guests you've had on?
Ooh,
on the Interesting Podcast?
All right. I mean, so it's a dumb answer. I'll answer your question, but first a dumb preface. I've been very, very lucky in that everyone that I've had on has been amazing. And I don't say that just to say that. I mean, genuinely, everyone has been so cool and generous with their time and their stories. And I've made some of the best friends that I have in life through that show. And that wasn't the intent. It just sort of happened. Savannah and I met on my show. That was the first time we'd ever actually like talked for real. And now, she's one of my best friends. So it's just great to have a show like that where it's just people connecting, and learning that like ultimately we're all the same. But my favorite episodes, well, I will say that they're all great, but ones that I recommend to people a lot. One of them is Randall Duck Kim, who played Oogway in Kung Fu Panda. He was the key maker in The Matrix Reloaded. He's just such a great dude. He has an amazing story. He was one that like really connected with. Another one is any of the Tom and Derek episodes. So Tom Wilton or Derek Arnold, they're some of my good buddies who've worked on the Star Wars movies. They're creature performers. Really any of the creature performers that have been on the show, I recommend. They're amazing people, incredibly talented actors. And then most recently, I celebrated episode 100 with my dad. And that was really, really special. He's been an inspiration for the show and for my life, and getting to hear him, getting to share stories that I grew up on, with everybody else, I thought was really cool. So yeah, check those out.
Yeah. So my favorite 2 episodes of the Interesting Podcast is Claudia Gray.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Claudia's amazing.
Tom Wilton.
Tom Wilton. Yeah, see what I mean? Tom.
And then another one, probably my third favorite one is because like, so I sort of briefly met this person in Celebration Orlando. Mm-hmm. And then obviously the audio show, and the person that is Daniel Berry.
Yeah, Daniel's great.
So I really enjoyed that podcast because I sort of, me and him, I then have quite a bit in common taste-wise, and obviously, well, we met in Celebration Chicago for the second time, but this time sort of knew each other a bit more from online. But like, I don't know if he would say shares the same thing, but like really had a connection.
Yeah, of course.
But I don't know if that would be there if I hadn't learned sort of about him from listening to your podcast with him.
Right on. Daniel's great.
So that's my 3 favorites are Claudia Gray, Tom Wilton, and then Daniel Berry.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for listening. I appreciate that.
No, it's awesome. So again, any UK listeners there who aren't familiar with Brian or his work, definitely check out the Donkey Diva Show, which is available on Spotify and iTunes, isn't it?
Yes, correct? It is. I believe it's everywhere.
And also the Interesting Podcast.
Yep.
Which is also available on iTunes and Spotify.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Brian, where can the listeners find you on social media if they want to interact with you?
Of course. People can find me online at Jedi Brian everywhere. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. Jedi Brian. And yeah, pretty easy. I try to get that SEO.
Awesome. Have you got any last thoughts before you wrap up?
Just remember, everybody, that, your focus determines your reality.
That is one of my favorite lines from Star Wars.
Same.
So yeah, we're going to wrap it up, guys. This has been Star Wars. You can find us on social media. We're on Twitter at BorsStar. Star Wars is already taken. We also have a email address now, starborspodcast@gmail.com. So if anyone's got any questions you want answered on the show, or any Star Wars theories you want to share, email them in to that email address. I'm Peter Adams. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Pete Hitman Hart, as in the wrestler Bret Hart. He's my favourite.
Love it.
But yeah, Brian, thanks for coming on.
Of course. Thanks for having me. It was great.
Yeah. As soon as I knew you were available this week, I was like, I need to get him on.
Yeah, so glad.
I didn't have a show ready. And in fact, Savannah, if you're listening, me and Brian didn't even have any show notes at all for this show.
That's right, Savannah. Another person has brought to the light. No show notes.
But yeah, thanks for joining us, Brian. Thanks for listening, everyone who's listening. May the force be with you. And stay tuned for another episode coming soon. Thanks very much.
Bye.
Bye.